Hey, what's going on everybody? So in this course, we're gonna learn everything you need to know about HTML to get started. And if you like these videos, please consider subscribing. If we think of our daily life, we will find that we use many websites in different words. But have you ever thought how these websites are made? Have you ever thought of making one yourselves? Well, if you have, then you can start learning web development from now. So let's get started. A website has HTML for its structure, CSS for its styling, and JavaScript or PHP for its function. But don't worry, it can have both. So let's start with HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is very easy to learn. Usually in HTML you have two tags and inside them you will have your texts, pictures or videos. And how you write HTML is also pretty simple. Just think of a paragraph. You have a header and a body. In the header you will have the title and in the body you will have the elements of the web page. Now to write our HTML we need a text editor. There are quite a lot of them like Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text or Windows Notepad. In this course we're gonna use Google Chrome as our web browser and Visual Studio Code as our text editor. And yeah, you can also use Microsoft Edge or Firefox if you want, but I do not recommend using Internet Explorer because it has some bugs. To install Visual Studio Code, we have to come to code.visualstudio.com and I'll put a link of this in the description. And then from this drop-down menu, we can select our operating system. So I'm currently running Windows, so I'm going to choose the Windows version. And it's going to start downloading the file. So once the file is downloaded, we can click this and it's gonna take me to the installation process. So it's not that complicated, we just have to agree the agreement, then we have to keep clicking next and then finally install. So my installation is done and let's dive into Visual Studio Code. So we're back with Visual Studio Code and to open our first website folder, we can click this button. So I'll be opening the folder in my desktop, but you can open it anywhere from your computer. So let's create our new file. And let's name it something like website. There we go, and in our Visual Studio Code, we can see we have our website folder right here. Now within our website folder, we have to create another file. So this file is where we're gonna write all of our HTMLs. So we can do that by clicking this button. And let's name it something like index. And we have to follow it by the extension name, which is gonna be .html. So as we have talked before, HTML is just like a paragraph which has a head and a body. So first we have to add our head tag, so we can do it by adding an angle bracket, then we can write head and close it with another angle bracket. And now for the closing tag, we can add another angle bracket, then we can add a forward slash, and then we can write head and close it with another angle bracket. So next, let's add our body tag as well. So we can do the same thing. First, we have to add an angle bracket. Then we have to write body inside it. And to add our closing tag, we can add another angle bracket. Then write a forward slash. Then write body. And close with another angle bracket. There we go. And now we have our head and our body tag. So within our head tag, we can add a title. So what a title does is, it is the word that's shown in the browser's tab. So first we can click enter to make a new line, and inside it we can add our title tag by writing angle bracket, then writing title, and closing with another angle bracket, and add our closing title tag as well. There we go, and as our title we can write any word. So what about we write something like welcome. There we go, and now within our body tag, we can write something, anything we want. So what about we write something like this is our first website. So to open our web page in a web browser, we have to install an extension called the live server. So we can come to our extension tab, then we can search up live server, then we can click the first link. So I have already installed live server, but you can just click a button from here which says install, and then you can install it very easily. So once we have installed live server, we can go back to our files, and here in our index.html we can right click it, and here we can see we have an option which says open with live server, and we're gonna click this. And check that out, we have created our first website. Congratulations! So our website says this is our first website, and this is exactly what we have written in our body. So now to put this line of text in a paragraph tag, we have to come inside our code and then add our paragraph tag by writing angle bracket, then writing P and closing with another one, and we can add our closing tag as well. There we go, and now what we can do is drag this line of text inside our paragraph tag. And here in our web page, we cannot see any difference yet because this is by default a paragraph by the browser. So to make some changes, we can add another tag. So this is called a header tags. So we can add the header tag by writing angle bracket, then we can write H, which stands for header, and from here we can see we have H1 all the way to H6. So we will be looking at all of them. So first let's add our H1 tag, and we also have to add our closing tag. And inside we can write some text. What about we write something like header 1? There we go, and now in our web page we can now see our text inside the H1 tag is a lot bigger than the normal paragraph tag. So let's take a look at all of the header tags. So we can write our H2 tag, and also our H3 tag, next our H4 tag, and you get the rest. There we go, and now we have created all of our header tags. So let's write some text inside it. Let's copy our header 1 and paste it multiple times. And we can change the numbers as well. And let's see the magic in our web page. And our H6, which is also the header 6, is the smallest. So this is a really fun way to add headers to our web page. So there's another thing with the H1 tag. So this is to use it correctly, we can only use it once in a web page. So next, let's learn about another tag, which is the A tag, also known as the anchor tag. So an anchor tag adds hyperlinks or any type of links to our web page. So let's see how to use it. So first of all, we have to add an angle bracket. Then inside it, we have to write A, which stands for anchor. And we can close it with another angle bracket, and we can add the closing tag as well. Now to make this anchor tag take us to somewhere, we have to come to the first anchor tag and then add our attribute. So this attribute is going to be the href attribute. So we can write href, and after this we can write equal and then 2 quotation marks. And inside them we can write the link of the web page we're trying to go to. So to keep things simple, what about we go to Google? So let's write Google's URL, which is https://google.com. There we go, and now finally inside our anchor tag we have to add some text. So what about we write something like this will take you to Google. And now if we go back to our web page, we can see we have a hyperlink, and this says this will take you to Google. So let's see what happens if we click this. And check that out, our link has taken us to Google. So the final thing we'll learn today is the doctype. So what a doctype does is it tells the browser that what type of file we're running. So to add a doctype, we can come to the very beginning of our HTML, and then we can write an angle bracket, and then we can write an exclamation mark, and then we have to write capital doctype. And after this, we can write HTML as we're trying to write HTML inside our file, and we can finally close it with another angle bracket. So this is important because this tells the browser that what type of file we're running, and almost every website has this doctype. So congratulations, you have just created your first HTML website. And also you can do a lot of cool experiments with this, and you can always comment me that what type of experiments you have done. So that's it for today's video. If you liked it and want to appreciate my effort, you can click the like button and subscribe if you think HTML is fun.